Well, yeah, how's everyone doing this morning? College game day, week number 4, just getting kicked off. We're going to try a little bit of a different format today. Obviously, we've been doing some of a different format in the previous college game days, but today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be going with all sorts of different graphics and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit different. Let me know how you guys like it in the chat, but yeah, that's how we're going to do with it for now. How's it going, guys? I see we got CRC and Football Legends in here, EJ. Yep, today is the first day of the SEC kicking off. That's pretty exciting. We got a lot more football today in comparison to how we've had it in the previous 3 weeks. So it's going to be a fun day for sure. We've got several SEC games being kicked off. It's going to be a fun day for sure. Basically, what we're going to do today is we're going to be previewing every game that's going to be coming up here today. I'm going to be giving you guys my selections towards the end of the show, so it's going to be a good time. We're going to be going all the way until about, I'd say, 10:30 to 10:45-ish. So anyway, yeah, how's it going, guys? You guys having a good morning? Yeah, SEC, here you come. We're right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some games. First thing that's going to be starting up, of course, at 2:30 Central Time, we've got Mississippi State and LSU. LSU's playing today. They're going to be at home in Baton Rouge against Mississippi State, which, of course, they're a team with KJ Costello in there now. They're looking pretty good, so that's going to be an interesting game there. But I'd assume LSU probably should get the win there, no doubt in my mind, because LSU is clearly the better team. Miles Brennan at quarterback. All around, yeah, they're looking like the better team in that situation, but I mean, who knows? We could see some crazy things happen today. I think there's a chance that we do see some crazy upsets happen. I mean, it's definitely possible. What else do we got? Well, actually, starting out with the noon games, we've of course got UCF in Eastern Carolina. That will be your first game at noon. Eastern Carolina is at home for that one, and the spread is actually at 27 towards UCF there. So UCF is definitely favored in that one. But all around, yeah, for sure, it should be an interesting game there as well. But looking at some of your SEC games, you got 3 SEC ones here. You also got Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, which that game's going to be at 7:30 Eastern. Of course, Texas A&M is going to be at home for that one, and they are heavily favored there as well. Texas A&M, I believe, there is favored by a good 31 points. So it's going to be, it could be a blowout there, a possible one for sure. I mean, Vanderbilt, they're not looking very good at all this season. I'd consider them to probably be the worst team in the SEC coming up until this point. You also got Tennessee and South Carolina coming up 7:30 Eastern as well. That should be a fun game right there between Tennessee and South Carolina. Both of those teams obviously looking pretty good, especially Tennessee. Tennessee's looking very good in my opinion. I definitely think that they're going to be a team that should be a main contender, especially moving forward in the SEC. They're also ranked 16th this week, so they're actually coming into the rankings pretty high. And of course, I think in my rankings last week, I think I had them at 13 or 14. So yeah, somewhere around there. But yeah, Tennessee's favored by 4 there, so it's expecting it to be close. But yeah, that should be a good matchup there. Hey guys, hear me all right? Yep, just making sure we don't have any technical difficulties here. What's up, GA? Welcome in. Same thing with Gopher Nation. Looking at the rest of your SEC games, though, of course, once again, we got those 3, Mississippi State, Auburn. That should be a fun game there. That's coming up at noon Eastern. Auburn is favored there by 7.5. Both teams are ranked. That's definitely going to be a fun game there. Definitely one of the best ones of the week, I'd say. Yeah, watch out for that one for sure. We got Florida and Ole Miss also at noon. Florida's ranked 5th in that one. And then it's actually in Ole Miss, so you got to watch out for that. I did a preview on that game, and I think Florida should be the main winner there. It wouldn't surprise me if they did easily get a win, but yeah, that's kind of what we're looking like. But yeah, as far as your Big 12 games go, of course we got Texas and Texas Tech. That game's going to be coming up at 8:30 Eastern. That should be a fun matchup between both of those teams. Of course, Texas is looking like clearly that's actually 3:30 Eastern. That game is clearly looking like Texas should get the win there. They're actually favored by 17.5. So Texas is heavily favored in that game there. That one's going to be in Texas Tech, however. So it's going to be a home field advantage for Texas Tech. But Texas, I'd still say, is the clear favorite of that one. So those are what your first 4 games look like. Looking at some more, of course, we got Georgia and Arkansas, another SEC game. That will be Georgia's first game of the season. That's coming up at 4 Eastern. and it's going to be in Arkansas. Should be a fun matchup there. Georgia's currently favored by 28, and so yeah, Georgia is easily favored there. Yeah, all around that should be a fun matchup there as well. I mean, I think Georgia, especially with JT Dent, it looks like he's going to be your quarterback. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really been. Yeah, it should be a fun matchup there for sure. I mean, you also got Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Watch out for that one. Actually, no, that one's postponed. That's my bad. It's kind of a bummer we don't get to see that game. Of course, Wake Forest has started off the season kind of rough. It's been a tough start to the season for Wake Forest. So yeah, they definitely need to turn their season around if this is going to be a good season for them. Notre Dame, however, is looking pretty good. They're actually ranked 7th right now. You also got Kansas State and Oklahoma. That's coming up at noon. Lots of noon games today. Oklahoma's going to be at home in that one. It's going to be in Norman. And Oklahoma is looking very good right now, especially. Watch out for them moving forward. Now, they could easily be a playoff team if they continue to play the way that they are. And Kansas State, of course, I mean, they've had a tough start to the season as well. I mean, if you look at how they've done, they lost to, Arkansas State earlier in the season. So that kind of shows how the season's going for them. But you also got, once again, you got Florida and Ole Miss, another good matchup. That one's going to be a big SEC matchup. Ole Miss being at home, that could give them a pretty good advantage moving forward. Albeit all around, it's looking like a good matchup there as well. Looking at some more games for today. Once again, Kentucky and Auburn's coming up at noon. We got Auburn at home in that one. That one's going to be a home game for the Tigers. And then, of course, you got them being favored by 7.5. Kentucky, of course, coming in now with Terry Wilson at quarterback. Watch out for them this season. They could be a team to watch out for. I mean, with Kentucky and looking at how they were a couple of seasons back when they actually had a healthy team, yeah, they were very good. And they just were not healthy last season. That was the main reason why they didn't have much success, was because of the fact that they just, they just had too many injuries. And so if they can refrain from the injuries a bit this season, that's going to help them a ton. We also have Louisville and Pitt. That's going to be a fun matchup, also at noon. So we got lots of great noon games today once again. Just looking at some of these. Louisville, of course, in that one. Or actually, no, Pittsburgh is favored by 3, but Pittsburgh is going to be at home in that one. And then Louisville, of course, lost last week to Miami, which Miami and Florida State is considered as the game of the day. But yeah, of course, you got Louisville sitting at 1-1. Pittsburgh currently at 2-0. So, I mean, all around, that should be a fun matchup between both those teams. 2 ranked teams going head-to-head. Should be a great one there. Sup, Irish and Lions fan, welcome in. We also got Alabama and Missouri. That game's going to be at 7 Eastern. We got Missouri, of course, being at home. But Alabama's favored by 28.5. So a full 4 touchdowns is what Alabama is favored by there. Then you also got Florida State and Miami coming up at 7:30 Eastern. That's going to be your main primetime game there between both of those teams. And Miami is currently favored by 11. So that should be a very good matchup. Miami, of course, is ranked number 12 right now. So they're actually considered as one of the best teams in the nation. And considering we haven't really seen the Big Ten or the Pac-12 play yet, that's the main reason why they're ranked so high. But still, yeah, this is going to be a big test for them. If Florida State wins, yeah, that's going to be a very tough loss for Miami for 1. But for 2, I mean, Miami, they're actually looking pretty good this season. Not going to lie. I mean, they've got a lot of talent on their team for sure. De'Aaron King at quarterback, he's playing very well right now. Watch out for Miami this season. They could be a dark horse contender. No one really saw it, including myself. I never really saw it coming, but I think Miami, they genuinely have a good chance to be a really good team this season. So watch out for them. Of course, with them being ranked 12th, it's already pretty evident. But yeah, watch out for that for sure. Looking at some more games, though, we got UCF and East Carolina. That game's coming up at noon Eastern as well. UCF ranked 13th, and then East Carolina being at home. UCF is favored by a lot in this one. We got 27.5, I believe, is your favorite for UCF. We also got Georgia Southern and Louisiana. Louisiana looked pretty good last year, last week. But they just had a really tough game to Georgia State, and that kind of concerns me moving forward. I don't think that Louisiana can be a national contender with having a close call to Georgia Southern or to Georgia State. So you got to watch out for that. But yeah, Louisiana, they're favored by 11.5 there, so they should get the win. But if they have a close call to Georgia Southern, expect them to have a good chance of dropping out of the rankings. You also got Army and Cincinnati. Army's looking pretty good. They're 2-0. Cincinnati then is 1-0, and this game's going to be at 3:30 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati is also favored by 13.5. So yeah, that should be a good matchup there between both of those teams. Lots of ranked versus ranked matchups today. That's going to be fun to watch out for. What else are we looking at? You also got West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's ranked 15th. Games at 3:30 Eastern. Oklahoma State's favored by 6.5 there. Both teams are undefeated at 1-0. So that should be a fun one there as well. Irish says, I'm looking forward to Louisville and Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup there for sure, but between both of those teams. I mean, Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh, they're starting off really well. Louisville, of course, losing last week. This is going to be an important game for them to try to turn their season around. So yeah, watch out for that. What other teams beside Notre Dame and Miami can contend to the ACC? That's a good question, Irish. Obviously, you got Clemson. I mean, Clemson's the clear-cut favorite for the ACC title right now. But you got Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to be a big competitor for Clemson. I think this is the first time in a long time where we're actually seeing competition for the ACC. And we got, once again, Notre Dame and Clemson both looking very good. They're clearly your two favorites. And then Miami, watch out for Miami once again. They're ranked number 12 right now, so they could be a contender as well. But other teams beside them, I mean, I don't really see any other contenders in the ACC besides Notre Dame and Miami. Well, of course, North Carolina is looking pretty good right now. Watch out for North Carolina. Same thing with Virginia Tech. They're looking pretty good as well. So, you got a couple other teams in there that could be good this season. But all around, I'd probably say Clemson and Notre Dame. Those are my two clear-cut favorites probably to win that ACC conference right now. What else we got? Once again, West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Games coming up at 3:30 Eastern. Oklahoma State is favored there. Looking at some more scores, though, of course, we got NC State and Virginia Tech. That game's coming up at 8 Eastern, one of your late games of the day. And Virginia Tech currently is favored in that one by 7.5. And then NC State, I mean, watch out for NC State this season. They're looking pretty good right now. But, I mean, Virginia Tech, I'd say, is the favorite in that one. Virginia Tech gets the win over NC State. You got Troy and BYU. Of course, BYU has not played since they had that major blowout over Navy. If you remember that, they completely destroyed Navy. I think they won like 55-3 in that game. So this is their first game since then. So it's going to be fun to see how they do. But all around, BYU is the favorite in that one. I believe they are favored by 16 points over Troy. And that game's coming up at 10:15 Eastern. So that's going to be one of your main late games as well. BYU, I'd say, is the clear-cut favorite there as well. Even though it's only Troy. They should beat off Troy pretty easily if everything goes as planned. Iowa State and TCU games coming up at 1:30 Eastern. And ISU, Iowa State is favored by 3. TCU, of course, sitting in the season currently at, TCU hasn't even played yet. Iowa State, on the other hand, is 0-1. They lost to Louisiana a couple of weeks back. So both teams, Iowa State got off to a really rough start, and this is going to be a big game for them to try to turn their season around. And then, of course, at 3 p.m. Eastern, or at 4 p.m. Eastern, we got Duke and Virginia. Both teams, or actually Duke is 0-2, meanwhile Virginia hasn't even played this season. So that's just something that's crazy about this season, is that all these teams are playing at all sorts of different times. You got some teams that have already played 3 games. Meanwhile, you got other teams that are still, they still haven't played a single game. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season moving forward. Some other good news, of course, as you guys know, the Pac-12 is coming back. They're going to be coming back, I believe, first week of November. So we're going to be seeing all the Power 5 conferences playing for the first couple of weeks in November. So that's going to be fun to see. But yeah, of course, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And those are pretty much all of your games for today as far as the top 25 matchups go. Of course, you got some other matchups, some other ranked versus or unranked versus unranked matchups. You got Georgia Tech and Syracuse coming up at noon Eastern. Syracuse is 0-2. Georgia Tech 1-1. Georgia Tech's favored there by 1 or by 7.5. And then you also got, it looks like, what else do we have? Duke and Virginia once again. Virginia's favored there. We got Texas State and Boston College. Boston College is favored by 17.5. Texas State is currently sitting at 1-2, while Boston College is 1-0. And then you also got Kansas and Baylor once again. 7:30 Eastern is when that game's coming up. Baylor's favored by 17.5 there as well. Welcome in, Ian, Albert as well. Good morning, you guys. What else do we have? We got Georgia State and Southern, or actually no, not Southern. Charlotte, that game got postponed. Same thing with South Florida and Florida Atlantic. Tulsa and Arkansas State also got postponed. So we actually have like 4 or 5 games this week that already are canceled off. So that's kind of some bad news for the college football world. But we also have Campbell and Appalachian State. Of course, App State lost last week, so they're sitting at 1-1. But they're still favored by 35 in that game. So all around, it's looking pretty good for them there. Campbell's not a very good team at all. I mean, if you look at how they've played, of course, they're an FCS team for one, and for two, they lost to Coastal Carolina last week by over 20. So, yeah, they're all around not looking very good right now. Well, yeah, you got Tulsa and Southern Miss coming up 2:30 Eastern. Southern Miss is 0-2, but Tulsa is favored by 3.5 there. And then lastly, you got Stephen F. Austin and SMU coming up at 7 Eastern. SMU is favored by 38 there. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at as far as your group of 5 conference games go. And now that we are about 20 minutes in, we're going to start getting into some Saturday selections. And this is going to be the main part of the show where I give you guys all of my predictions for the week. But before I do that, this is going to be something where only you guys know in the live chat right now. This is something that I was going to announce. As you guys know, I was telling you guys yesterday that I was going to have a big announcement coming here today. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to sneakily put this in here only for you guys to see. So basically, it's relating to the simulations. Obviously, we're going through our 98 team divisional tournament right now. And yeah, it's had a great turnout so far. We've seen lots of great games, lots of great matchups for sure. But you know what? I was thinking the 64 team tournament that we did this summer was such a big success. So with that being said, this week we're going to be kicking off another 64 team tournament. It's going to be a simulated 64 team tournament. More details to come later today. I'll probably be posting a video on this, I'd assume sometime tonight. But a new 64 team tournament is coming. We're going to be calling it Season 2. And what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be making 64 team tournaments a common occurrence on this channel. So basically we're going to be doing 3 to 4 64 team tournaments in a year. And basically we're going to be calling them different seasons, and we're going to be doing this for however long that it takes pretty much. So yeah, this is going to be Season 2. Just thought I'd sneak this in here. Hope you guys are all excited for that. Obviously, I know how much you guys love the 64 team tournaments, and it's always a great tournament for sure. So once again, though, more details to come on that, but I just figured I would kind of sneak that in here as well. But yeah, 64 team tournament is coming this week, a brand new one. It will be kicking off on either Thursday or Friday. I haven't quite decided yet. Once again, more details on that to come. However, the 98 team divisional tournament, that is still going to be running. However, we're just going to be doing basically 2 tournaments at once. And I'd say the 64 team tournament will be running in the earlier times, while the 98 team tournament will be running in the later times. Once again, though, more details to come about that within the coming days. But once again, I hope you guys are all excited for that. I mean, I'm pretty excited to get things started with that as well. I mean, I considered waiting on a 64 team tournament again until after the 98 team divisional tournament was over. So I was thinking about waiting all the way until late December. But basically how this is going to work, I'll just tell you guys here because I've got some basic plans on this already. So we're going to start this off on Thursday, October 1st. And it's going to run all the way, I'd say, until, what's the day that I was thinking about? I think it's December 4th. Either December 3rd or 4th will be the championship for the tournament. So we're going to be doing 1 game a day all the way through the weekends. And we're going to be doing 2 games a day during the weekdays. And I haven't decided quite yet, but I may have to drop out the 2 seed versus 7 seed games for the 98 team divisional tournament as well. And the main reason for that is because if I continue doing the 2 versus 7 seed games, one, I mean, we've always seen the 2 seeds win. We have not seen a 7 seed beat a 2 seed yet. So it's extremely unlikely that we will see a 7 seed beat a 2 seed. And the second thing is just that we'd be having a triple header on the Tuesday of the week. So that'd just be too many games, I think. And so I want to keep it to 2 a day max. So that's what the plan is for that. But yeah, CRC asks, how will we do 2 games a day? We just will. I haven't really decided on the times yet. That's why I sent out a poll yesterday asking what times of the day would work best for simulations. And looking at I haven't actually looked at the results of that yet. Let me check that real quick. Because yeah, I asked you guys if there would be, or which times would be better between 7 and 9 Eastern and 8 and 10 Eastern. And it looks like you guys said 7 and 9 Eastern, 82%. So yeah, I'm guessing the 2 game times or for the double headers will be at 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 8 and 10. And honestly, that was kind of expected because 10 p.m. Eastern starts to get to a bit of a late point. So yeah, we'll probably be doing 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern for our double header games. And so once again, more details on that to come later today. I'll be posting a video on the details for all this, but I just figured you guys deserve to know first, and so I'm going to tell you guys right here and right now. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to get into some Saturday selections now. Hope you guys are all excited about the 64-team tournament. But as far as Saturday selections go, geez, I can't talk today. Where we're starting off with your noon games, of course, we got UCF and East Carolina coming up at noon. UCF is favored by 27 there. UCF is 1-0. Eastern Carolina has not played a game yet this season. I've got UCF in that one easily. I think UCF comes out and gets a huge win there. I think they're going to win by at least 3 to 4 touchdowns. We also got Kentucky and Auburn coming up at noon. Auburn's favored by 7.5 there. I've got Auburn as well in that one. I think Kentucky does hang around for a little while, but I do think Auburn gets a pretty easy win there with Bo Nix. They're looking all around like the better team. Florida and Ole Miss coming up at noon Eastern as well. I've got Florida there. They're favored by 13.5, so they're a pretty clear-cut favorite there. I got Florida getting their first win of the season against Ole Miss. At noon, you also got Georgia Tech and Syracuse, and then you got Georgia Tech being favored by 7.5. They're sitting at 1-1, while Syracuse is 0-2. Georgia Tech gets the win in the end there. You also got Kansas State and Oklahoma. Should be a fun matchup between both of those teams. Oklahoma's favored by 28, and they're also ranked 3rd in the nation, so they're actually ranked pretty high up there right now. I've got Oklahoma winning that game big. I think Kansas State, clearly after losing to Arkansas State, they should not have a very good chance of beating Oklahoma on the road. You also got a big matchup between Louisville and Pittsburgh, 24 versus a 21 there. I've got Pittsburgh winning that game. Pittsburgh is actually favored as well by 3. But I think after Louisville losing in Miami last week, and then you got Pittsburgh, of course, looking like one of the better teams in the ACC right now, yeah, I've got Pittsburgh in that one. You also got Iowa State and TCU. TCU is currently down by 2.5 as far as the spread goes. Iowa State is favored. But I've actually got TCU here. I've got UCF. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. TCU, they will be beating Iowa State today. I got them in the upset over Iowa State at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Mississippi State and LSU is coming up at 3:30, and LSU is favored by 16.5. And they're also ranked 6th in the nation, so they're looking pretty good there. I've got LSU winning that one pretty easily as well. I think Mississippi State, they will be hanging around in the first half of the game, but I think LSU in the second half will pull away and have a pretty easy win there. You also got Texas and Texas Tech, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I've got Texas winning that one. And of course, Texas Tech is actually sitting at 1-0 right now, but the only team that they beat was Houston Baptist by 2. And they almost lost to Houston Baptist of all teams. So, yeah, I've got Texas winning that one pretty easily. I've got them covering. We also have West Virginia and Oklahoma State at 3:30. Oklahoma State's favored by 6.5, and I've got Oklahoma State winning that one as well. They're going to get a big win in there in the end. And then you got Duke and Virginia coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern. Virginia's favored by 5.5, and I've got them winning that one as well. As far as it goes for Georgia and Arkansas, Georgia is currently favored by 27.5. Game's at 4 p.m. Eastern. I've got Georgia easily in that one too. I can't go with Arkansas when Arkansas is looking like one of the worst Power 5 teams. And then, of course, you got Texas State and Boston College. I've got Boston College winning that one. Texas State sitting at 1-2. They have not had a very easy start. So I'm going to go with Boston College there. Alabama and Missouri. Alabama's favored by 29. Alabama's an easy winner there. And then you got Kansas and Baylor. I've got Baylor winning that one. They're favored by 17.5. And, obviously Kansas, they're sitting at 0-1. They had a bad loss to Coastal Carolina. So, considering they lost to Coastal Carolina, I got Baylor easy there. You also got Tennessee and South Carolina. Tennessee's ranked 16th, by the way. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they play in their first week. They're having to travel to South Carolina, and that's going to be a fun matchup there between both of those teams. Both teams are looking very good. Tennessee is favored by 4 on the road. And I've got Tennessee winning. I think it's going to be one of the better games of the day. Definitely a close game there, but I've got Tennessee getting their first win of the season there against South Carolina. You also got Florida State and Miami, 7:30 Eastern, considered the game of the day. Miami is currently favored by 10.5, so it's for Miami, of course, being favored by 10.5. The spread's currently really favored towards them. I'd say Florida State probably will keep it much closer than that, but Miami will get the win in the end. Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, I got Texas A&M easily there. You got Virginia Tech and NC State. I got Virginia Tech winning that one as well. Even though NC State, they're looking pretty good so far. I've got Virginia Tech winning that one at home. I get Troy and BYU. That's going to be your late night game. BYU will get the win there, I think, by at least 20. And then you got, of course, looking at your group of 5 games, Campbell and Appalachian State. I got App State winning that one. I also have Louisiana over Georgia Southern. I also have Liberty over Florida International. And then I got Tulane. I'm going to go against the spread here. I'm going to say Tulane will beat off Southern Miss. I've also got Louisiana Monroe over UTEP. I've got Army over Cincinnati, so that's going to be an upside there. I'm taking Cincinnati to have a big loss today, and I think Army does get the win. And then I've also got SMU over Stephen F. Austin, and then Louisiana Tech over Houston Baptist. Anyway, that about wraps up our Saturday selections. We got several games today. I think we've got at least 20 to 25, so it's going to be a fun day of action for sure. Of course, last week was more of a slow week, I'd say. We did not see many very good games last week as far as week 3 goes. So yeah, week 4 is definitely going to be a much better week. Really looking forward to today's action. Hope you guys all are too. Once again, we're going to keep doing college game day on Saturday mornings. However, we're going to be shifting the time back a little bit for next week. I think we'll be going back to 10:30 a.m. Eastern for next Saturday. So it's going to be kind of similar to how we did it the first week. Yeah, that about wraps up our show for today. Let me know your thoughts once again in the comments below. Hey, let me know what you guys think over the game of the day, Miami and Florida State. Who do you guys got in that one? I think college game day, the actual college game day is there today. And honestly, I mean, that kind of surprised me. I mean, Miami's a great team and all, but I mean, like you got Tennessee and South Carolina. That's going to be a great game. Kansas and Baylor. Well, that's not going to be a very good one. But you also have, I mean, yeah, Mississippi State, LSU. Yeah, then you got Kentucky and Auburn. Lots of great games today for sure. Going to be a good one for sure. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging around. We're going to close off the show for today. And then Sunday Night Countdown, once again, we won't be having that tomorrow night. We'll probably be trying to do that once again, I'd say next week, so the week after this Sunday for the first Sunday in October. So, yeah, we'll be getting that starting up again. Yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging around today. I hope you guys enjoyed the action. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Just at noon Eastern, once again, we've got, I think, how many do we have? We got 6 games kicking off, including Kentucky and Auburn. We got Louisville and Pittsburgh, Florida and Ole Miss. Yeah, I'd say, honestly, the noon hour is probably going to be the best hour of our college football Saturday. So, yeah, once again, lots of great games coming up. Should be fun for sure. Yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Once again, I'll give you guys more details about the upcoming 64-team tournament this week later today. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks again for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you guys all later.